And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is No Cap Space WBB. Andrew Haubner, happy to be with you. Happy you are here with us. Great to be back. Popping a little ISO. Trying to get on the lives a little bit more, but a big shout out to Tyler, Shawnee, and Greer for holding it down the way that they have lately. No one is doing it quite like them. Nobody's doing it like No Cap Space this playoff season, man. We've been live every single night after the playoffs, every single morning of playoff games. You got a preview in your inbox on our newsletter through Substack. Be sure to subscribe to the Ball Knowers tier. Also, make sure you like, share, subscribe here on YouTube. We're on that hunt to 5,000 subscribers. We are getting close. Before we jump in, a big shout out to our partners at Home Field. You can use code NOCAP15 to get 15% off your first home field purchase. It's the middle of college football season, and college basketball season is on the way. And if you have a favorite team, nobody does it like Home Field does it. And nobody does it like Home Field and No Cap Space, because you can go onto Home Field's website and you can find the No Cap Space WBB collection, a personally curated collection of all of their women's basketball merchandise. It is some dope shit, and you will enjoy it if you want to buy it. Now, let's talk about the news of the day today, a pretty good one at that. There is a new facility in Los Angeles. The Sparks just this afternoon announcing an $150 million facility that is going to be in El Segundo. So first of all, I think we got to open up the maps, because people need to realize just how gigantic Los Angeles is, first and foremost, and also need to understand what the context is of why this is such a big deal for the LA Sparks. So let's take a look at LA. For those of you that know LA, you know how gigantic it is, right? So if I share this map, we'll take a full look at where El Segundo is relative to the city of Los Angeles. So let me first get you to Crypto Arena, crypto.com arena. I know it is the Staples Center. You know it is the Staples Center. So downtown, literally middle of the downtown, LA Live is there. If you've been there before, you know exactly where I'm talking about. So if you were to go and take a drive to El Camino, I believe it's El Camino Community College, El Camino College, actually. So this is in Torrance, right? So this is where the team currently practices. If you didn't know this before, the Los Angeles Sparks practice at a community college facility. That is their current facility. It's right off Lenox, and it is by LA Airport. Not the greatest of neighborhoods. It's Torrance, Gardena. Great food down there. 28 minutes from LA. Now they are going to be in El Segundo, which for those of you that know El Segundo, it is right on the south end of the LA airport, but it also is kind of in a dope little area. El Segundo Beach is right here, Vista Del Mar and Manhattan Beach just to the south of it as well. There are a couple open plots of land. I'm actually pretty interested to know where specifically within El Segundo this is actually going to be. But this is a huge, huge win for the LA Sparks in a variety of ways. I mean, we'll start here. This is the WNBA's first ever indoor-outdoor player sanctuary, which to me, super duper cool. Why is this cool? Because this is as LA as it gets. You know, it is great all year round. You want to be outside, especially in the summer or in the spring, fall time when you aren't really in the off season, right? Typically during the winter, players will decide, hey, you know, I want to go to Europe, or I just want to do something else. I want to play an Unrivaled. Now you have the ability all year round to have a reason to be in Los Angeles, which I think is really, really cool. In a period of time where a lot of what facilities are offering is this kind of public-private partnership, or in the case of Portland, a really cool difference between the WNBA and NWSL team. The Portland Fire and Portland Thorns going to share a facility and have a joint women's sports facility. This first ever indoor-outdoor player sanctuary is actually pretty neat as far as I'm concerned. Outdoor spa pool for recovery and prehab rehab, necessary. Dedicated nap rooms. Mood, would love one of those. Flexible wellness spaces for yoga, meditation, and quiet reflection. Hydrotherapy and spa suites. 2 at WNBA regulation basketball courts. Circular locker room designed to foster team unity, which we see a lot of in facilities, particularly at the college level. We see a lot of this now. State-of-the-art weight room and training spaces. Bathed in daylight, which I love this little ad, bathed in daylight here, to support energy and recovery. Extensive use of natural light and fully retractable doors that bring the outdoors in. Again, another LA feature here, panoramic views of the Pacific Ocean and nearby mountains. More than a home base, it's a statement of intent about the future of the WNBA in Los Angeles. Designed as a year-round home away from home, it reflects the franchise's mission to invest deeply in its players. This is, folks, before we get into the renderings, this is what we have been asking LA to do for years. And typically, I bristle and am a skeptic of owners that say I'm excited to get more involved. In the case of Magic Johnson, who isn't the true money guy here, but Magic's got $1 billion, he's got plenty of money. His intent last season to say I want to be more involved in this has really borne fruit. I mean, they went out and traded for Kelsey Plum, which you could make an argument about whether that was good or bad in light of who was selected second in the draft. And would you have preferred Sonia Citrin in the long term? Would you have preferred Dominique Malong in the long term? Tyler and I are going to argue about that, as I'm sure many people are going to the rest of the way. But it was an intent. The desire to trade for an all WNBA caliber player was a statement of intent. Hiring Lynn Roberts, for whatever you feel in terms of the risk calculus of bringing on a coach like that, statement of intent. We still need to see what the long term is. But the practice facility was really the biggest thing that I would argue held Los Angeles back as a franchise and as a destination. Now, this feels like a ownership group that is basically saying, game on. Because when you really think about the star power of women's basketball players now, they are brands unto themselves in ways that I think even NBA and male professional athletes are not. You have these women walking at Paris Fashion Week, you have them in music videos, you have them in movies, you have them hawking so many different products. I mean, shoot, even Sophie Cunningham is advertising for Ring. You know what I mean? I see that on my TikTok all the time now. And if you want to make the argument that you want to make these women into stars, the biggest thing that was stopping them was, I don't want to have to make my year-round facility at El Camino College. And now you have a place just off El Segundo Beach that is now a state-of-the-art facility. So let's take a look at the renderings here. And I know renderings are always prettier than they end up being. But with that in mind, I don't necessarily believe that LA is a place that's going to mess around with this sort of thing. So first of all, very bougie. I mean, this is just so LA, gold and everything. This is just so Los Angeles. So this is the exterior view. This is the interior. You can see a practice facility on the right side, a little bit of recovery here, what appears to be some whirlpools and the weightlifting area, weight room, etc. I love the open space and natural light here for a place that's as sunny as LA is, especially in the spring and summer months. It feels absolutely necessary to do. I mean, this just looks like a resort. I love the boho, architecture. My wife would go crazy over this kind of thing, but I mean, this is a spa. Like this is sick. I love this. I mean, to me, all you have to do is put this picture that I just clicked out of for an inexplicable reason onto your free agent pitch. There we go. All you got to do is put this out there. You're looking at the beach. You have this little area to just like vibe and chill. And when you factor in, even if you have players, mind you, that are like $750,000 to $1 million a year players, like it might be, believe it or not, still hard to get a place right on the beach. So if you're a rookie and, maybe the rookie scale goes up to 100, 150 and you're having to live in some crappy apartment in WeHo because that's all you can afford in Los Angeles, I'd imagine this is kind of nice. I would actually like this quite a bit. There's so much more in here too. The unified locker room rotunda. I think this is pretty cool. This is all so like modern chic, man. It's straight out of like a West Elm catalog, but I mean, in their case, a Restoration Hardware catalog because the Sparks got money like that. But beautiful environment here, practice facility. Love the natural lighting. The salon is a cool thing that is, cool and specific to women's basketball. Hydrotherapy looks cool. This is a different angle of the locker room, which again, beautiful space. Recovery rooms. I think that's a sauna, which dope. And that's the exterior view. So overall, I mean, there are, and I will say this, there's a lot of things that you have to do to get this stuff done, right? Renderings are cool. If you know anything about city planning and development, renderings can be renderings. I worked in Sacramento, California for 2 years. I colloquially called it the city of sexy renderings, because every year there's a new mega project in Sacramento that's got these beautiful renderings. And everyone's like, this is going to take the city to the next level. It's going to compete with San Francisco, and it's going to compete with LA. And then for whatever reason, be it bad economy, be it the pandemic, be it NIMBYs, be it, real estate developers that trend more suburban, it simply doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't go for whatever reason. And, obviously it's a different scenario with this kind of money that the Sparks have being behind it, but you always just have to be a little bit skeptical about what is going to come when it comes to glossy depictions of big projects. But I think LA and their ownership group have made it clear over the last year that they are legitimately interested in this, in the long term. They are ready to ride and make this team really what they should have been from the jump, and what I think they were considered to be in the early 2000s with Lisa Leslie. I mean, even if they didn't have the facilities to match the Lakers, I think the positioning of Lisa next to Kobe and Shaq, it gave her this larger than life persona. She was in movies, she was on magazine covers, skincare products, and God knows however many TV shows. That's what the Sparks are supposed to be. The Sparks are supposed to be a prestige franchise in that way. And the facility that we just looked through is an indication that their ownership feels the same. And if you are a WNBA franchise and you are of the old ownership group and you see the money that's being thrown around now, as Angel Reese has made it clear plenty of times to Chicago's ownership group, you got to spend to earn and you got to spend to compete. And this is a huge step for Los Angeles and something that I think is great and should be celebrated by the entirety of the league. The more practice facilities there are, the more women's sports or women's basketball specific facilities there are, the better this is all going to be in the long term. And, we can have long-term concerns about, the entrance of rampant capital into the league. But if you've been a fan of this league for a really long time, those concerns have to go out the window for the time being, because this is what we have asked for as people that have covered the league and as people that are fans of the league. We've asked for this for decades. And especially in LA, it's been asked for decades. So this is a really cool thing for everybody. And it's extremely important for the WNBA's viability to have LA be a vibrant centerpiece franchise that people will want to come to. I think there is going to be a discussion about, well, does this mean that LA is now just going to hawk all the free agents? I don't think so, because I think the needs and requirements of men's athletes and basketball players and how they view and position Los Angeles is different for the women. I think if you want to be in, entertainment and in Hollywood, I think it makes a difference. But these women can sell product from damn near everywhere. Caitlin Clark is showing that in Indiana. Paige is showing that in Dallas. Whoever decides to be the star centerpiece at Golden State in the next free agency period is going to be able to do that out of the Bay. Sue Bird became, a multi-million-dollar, name to everybody operating out of Seattle, as did Megan Rapinoe. So I don't think location is prohibitive, but I also think that this is just a great thing for the league. The more we have of this, the better. And shout out to LA. They got good interior designers, man. Very LA, very SoCal, very bougie. Just give me a pass so I can go in and do a little story when it begins. Maybe take a dip in the pool as long as nobody else is there. That's all the time we got for this little quick hitter. We're going to be back live on Friday for our next slate of games. I will be live with the crew on Sunday, and we got some more ISO videos coming our way, as well as a couple of experimental things that we're going to work through to see if you guys as the audience like it. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check us out here. Check us out on Substack. Check out the No Cap Space WBB collection on Home Field, and follow us on any of the social platforms: Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, whatever. Wherever, whoever, however, we are covering women's basketball everywhere for you breathlessly. Stay tuned, because also tomorrow, our luxury tax interview series continues. Joyce Edwards of South Carolina going to be stopping by. In the meantime, this has been No Cap Space. I'm Andrew Haubner. We'll see y'all.